For you. Are you afraid of success? Because as entrepreneurs, the fear of failure is like, yeah, who isn't, right? Like we're all terribly afraid of failure. Maybe it's because of past failures. Maybe it's because we're trying something brand new and we don't know how it's going to work out. And so we're afraid of the unknown. Fear of failure is real and we all experience it, and it's okay to experience it. Like we all are like, yeah, I get it, afraid of failure. But then there's fear of success. And this is like the one that nobody talks about, right? Like, shh, don't, because I might come across as like overconfident and cocky if I say I'm afraid to be successful. But it's real. And it's okay. It's just as valid as fear of failure. But why are we afraid of success? Like, what are the reasons that we're afraid of it? And then what do we do about it? Because y'all, if you've been following me for a hot minute, you know that everything I do has to be tangible, practical, actionable. Okay? Like, so if I'm going to talk about fear of success today, you can bet your bottom I'm going to give you some steps to get past the fear of success. So, number one, the actionable step is to acknowledge that it is real and it is not you being overly confident or cocky or whatever. You're allowed to assume that you're going to be successful, and then there's some fear about it. Number two, identify why you're afraid of it. So for me personally, I was in a direct sales business for 3 years and I was really successful. And the problem was that I became so attached to the success of that business that it was my personal identity. My moods would rise and fall depending on how the level of success that I was experiencing that day, that week, that month, right? I found my joy and my contentment and my fulfillment in that business, which meant that my family got in my way, right? Raising my 5 children was something I had to do that was preventing me from doing what I wanted to do, right? My husband not being supportive was, him holding me back from being who I really could be, right? Like I took all of these aspects about the people that I loved and who loved me the most, and I made them negative because I was so attached to the success of my business being the core of who I was. And it destroyed my relationships. It almost destroyed my marriage. So you can bet that when I started this business, there's a level of fear, y'all. There is a level of saying, if I am successful, if I get all the clients, if my calendar gets full and I have to work a lot, am I going to lose the connection I have with my husband and my children because I become obsessed with work? So what's the actionable step? So acknowledging fear of success is totally real and valid. Understanding why you are afraid of success. And then actionable step, boundaries. Boundaries for that fear. I only work during the weekdays when my kiddos aren't here. They're at school. Like I'm in an RV, y'all. See, like, hey, welcome to the RV. This is my desk. It is also the kitchen table. It is also the craft table. It is also the game table. This is it, right? So when my kids get home from school at 2:30 every day, guess what has to happen? My desk has to go away. I have to pack up the laptop and the second screen and all the things, and I put them away. Boundary. Now, do I sometimes pull it all back out at 4 o'clock and set back up and work until dinner? Yeah, it happens, y'all. I'm a business owner. I got a lot to do, right? I'm working towards being successful and all those things. But the fact of the matter is there's a boundary where I give my kids 2 hours of my attention so that we can connect after their day. I don't work on the weekends, y'all. I don't. It is a boundary, right? Like I actually shared yesterday about active rest, and my kids were playing an Xbox with their dad on Saturday, right? And I could have easily pulled out my computer and worked. They would not have known. I was in the bedroom, right? I could have gotten work done, but I didn't. I intentionally rested from my work because I don't want it to become my identity. So that's number one. Okay, number two, the other reason that we generally we fear success, not necessarily because it's our personal identity, but because of the responsibility that comes with success. Friend, when you are successful, there is number one, pressure to maintain that success and to be successful again. And just like past failure does not dictate future failure, past success does not dictate future success. So there is this pressure that we experience to continue to be successful all the time. And we have to acknowledge that sometimes we are going to strike out. Y'all, Babe Ruth hit the most home runs out of any legend, right? I think maybe someone beat him in the last couple of years. I don't know. But like he's the legend for home runs, right? He struck out way more times than he hit home runs. He did. right? He struck out. So remove the pressure of constantly being successful by acknowledging that you will fail again. Y'all, big fail, small fail, it don't matter. You will fail again, okay? So the fear of success puts pressure on you to keep being successful. How do you combat that? By acknowledging that you're going to fail again, and it's going to be okay, because you have learned how to be successful and you know how to come back from it. And there is a resilience that is going to be built there. Okay, so that is number 2. Number 1 was your personal identity, set boundaries. Number 2 is the pressure you put on yourself to continue to be successful. Acknowledge that you're going to fail again, and that you've built enough resilience to bounce back from failure. All right, number 3, responsibility that comes with being successful. My arm is starting to get tired. I'm going to switch arms. Okay, so there's a responsibility. When you become successful, what do you naturally do? You hire people. Right? You hire people so you continue to grow your business. And now there's a responsibility that you have to others to keep them employed. Right? And so that's a little bit scary, y'all. I'm experiencing that right now. I have 2 people that work for me and I'm responsible for paying them. And there is a certain level of fear there. Right? So what do? Okay, so what we need to stop doing is being messy, because a lot of times our initial success as business owners comes through messy action. And through that messy action, we try a lot of things, we gain traction, and then bam, right? We experience success, and then we have to start to put pieces in place to make sure that we can continue to scale. But if you continue to scale with messy action, you better be afraid of more success, because you're not going to be able to sustain it, and everything is going to crumble beneath you. So the counterbalance to that, the actionable step, is to be strategic instead. It is to slow down just for a hot minute, right? Not enough so that you stop your momentum, but you pull back, you look at the big picture, and you strategically say, what do I need to focus on this quarter so that I continue to maintain the momentum, so that I can be financially responsible with the success that I've experienced, and then scale up and be financially responsible with the next level that I hit, right? So you need to be strategic. So quit the messy action and get strategic, so that your efforts produce more success and less failure. Not that you'll never fail, but the failures are going to be minimal. So did you get all of that? I hope so. Y'all, thanks for showing up with me live every day. Day in the life of the OBM. Today was all about fear of success and acknowledging it as a real fear and actionable steps to break through it. Y'all, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. I can't turn it off. Give me a minute.